No, never
I
mind.
don't
But-
Well, that was good. Glad somebody came in and-
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's recorded at
Yep.
this quality.
All right.
Still game.
Well, I would.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. This is like a. I gotta nail it down here, and then in a couple weeks, I'll do one. Maybe one in the evening, and then get some. And then it'll be that one will be good. That video. AI's next time, I guess. I don't know. I'm teaching my video. AI's next week. Well, something. I mean, I don't have handouts, so maybe something to take notes on, whatever that is. But it's gonna be a very casual class. Oh, we'll fly through. 40 minutes is my plan, but I'll start at 10:03, so just in case. Well, 10 o'clock on that clock.
Legacy law.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Let's see. I don't even know if I don't know if I can log into what I use on here, but we'll see. I don't even know if it's got a website. Desktop version. Evidently it does. Oh, that's not gonna work. Well, the recorded Zoom version is not going to be very helpful, so because I can't show the tools I'm using because they're apps, and that's a website. They don't, but that's okay. It'll only be a problem for I think currently 0 participants, so we'll survive. Caesar just kind of went down the reason I can't, and I trust him. I don't know, but I think it messed with the recording of it, but I don't know. Or maybe the connection. I think it doesn't pull up on these screens well, but I don't know. I have no idea. But sweet. Well, I think this is what we're gonna get. This is what we're gonna go with. Good morning. All right, so it's gonna be a very casual class, and maybe you'll record a video during it. Maybe not. We'll see. But so. I'm gonna start with why video is essential in real estate. What are some real estate videos you guys have seen that you guys have liked or you found entertaining or you've got value from? You guys engaged in much content outside of Tuesday home tours? Always on the toilet, I'm right about a year since I started, so I actually have some results to share about it. Typically, they say 6 months before you really start seeing any results from video. Yeah, which sucks. Well, and that's so there's especially the last couple months, I've noticed a few of the wins from it. One of them, we went on a listing appointment, and we knew the husband. We'd never met the wife, but we knew the husband and got to know him. And we got there and for our listing appointment, and she spent half the time talking about things she wanted me to say when I did my home tour of their house. Because we had never met, we had never talked, but she watches all of my home tours and she loves them and she thinks they're great. And she was like pointing out, he's like, yeah, make fun of her plants and do this and do this. And like, just kept pointing things out during that they wanted me to do. I will say I have not found a buyer for a property I've done a video of. I have not got a message the next day. I watched that video, I want to buy that house. Except it's heartbreaking. I've discovered I actually did receive one message on a $500,000 house I did a video of. It was somebody I wasn't friends with. It went to my spam on Facebook Messenger. I didn't see it because I get 10 spam messages a day. Most days, 10 out of 10 are some sort of websites or whatever, like just crap messages. And I scrolled through, went to delete them like a week ago. I went through to delete them, and I found one from September. I discovered it a week ago. legit person. They said they're really interested in the home I was looking. They'd like to check it out. Pre-approved up to 550. And they had a house in Grandview they'd like to know the value of because they're probably going to need to sell that to buy it. I cried. I teared up a little. So there is some of those messages coming in, but that's not most of what it is. And I'll kind of dive into that a little. There's kind of two main types of videos. Obviously, there's 150 different videos, but two main purposes. It's one to engage with your sphere and one to grow your sphere. Most of you are probably going to be focused on the videos to engage with your sphere. You'll see people are having a lot of success with YouTube relocation guides. You might see the Kyle Talbot, I think taught a class last week or 2 weeks ago, did something. He started a Living in Kansas City YouTube channel. And it's people that are moving to Kansas City in the next year or so. They're looking up. YouTube's the second biggest search engine. You guys didn't know that? Google's number one, YouTube second, and it's owned by Google. So they really promote those videos. When you look up, what's it like living in Kansas City now? First thing, three things that pop up are YouTube videos. It's not articles anymore. That's where this guy's getting a bunch of leads. He's growing his sphere because of that. He's getting out-of-town buyers. That's a lot of work. I'm not doing that. YouTube relocation stuff is a lot of work. You're looking at 10, 15-minute videos on a lot of those. It's just a lot of effort. But what I've got out of mine is engaging with the sphere. I went and had coffee with a kid I went to school with. I hadn't talked to him at all in 5 years. I'm already his real estate agent. He's like, you're my dude. I haven't talked to him in 5 years. We had coffee. I haven't talked to him in 5 years. So in my head, we haven't engaged at all. He engages with me every single week when he sees my home tour, and he likes it and sometimes comments on stuff. So I knew he was engaging. But then I went and had coffee with him, and I see you every single week. And then my coolest one, I was having a buyer consult at Terrace, and I had a lady walk over I didn't know. It's like, are you the real estate video guy? And she introduced herself when I just saw my videos and loves them. And I would have paid somebody to do that while I'm sitting there with a buyer. I was like, oh, this shit's awesome. But I offered to after, but she was like, no, it's okay. Like, can you do this every time? But it was somebody I had never met before, knows who I am because of these goofy videos. And because my right at this point, my home tours after a year, my poor performing ones get 2,000 or so views a week for a video. My best performing ones are 25,000 or so. But typically I'm in that 3,000 to 5,000 range, which in my head, you look at these viral videos, 3,000 to 5,000 is nothing. But how many people am I showing every week that I'm a real estate agent? 3,000 to 5,000. You can't. It costs a lot of money or a lot of work to get somewhere else. I mean, and it's something I've been in, and now I'm started stepping up my game. Show some examples here on this, not on that, I guess. But so obviously my home tours are a lot of work, and I don't recommend doing them. I go through a house, I spend about an hour shooting them, and now I can edit it in about an hour. Most of what you guys are going to want to do are what we call talking head videos. And I've got a few examples of that here. So let's get a helpful talking head video. This isn't helpful. This is pretty goofy. Some of you may have seen it.
The Jeep Wrangler stuck in the ditch. Just because you have four-wheel drive doesn't mean this will slide off the road.
Obviously, this one's pretty goofy. All right, you get the gist. But so I'm doubling down on doing those twice a week too, except more educational than just the goofy ones. And that's probably where a lot of you are going to want to start. It's just a talking head video. You take your phone, and this is my tripod. It has a remote that goes to it. I haven't lost it 2 months ago. I don't know where it's at, but that's so you can like push it without being there. I think this was $30. And then I've got a pack of headphones, so just like this. I think they were also $25, $30. You don't need them. The microphone, not headphone, helps a lot just because then the camera's over there. The speaker's on the phone, so it's a little easier and it does a little better sound quality. A cheap mic does versus just what the phone does. But yeah, $30 on Amazon. You figure out which one plugs it. Got a device that plugs into the bottom of my phone, and then I've got 2 mics with it. So even for like podcast style stuff, it works for that too. But it's all of like $60. total, or you can get a $5 tripod places. They're pretty affordable. But what I've recently started,
Not need to put 20% down to buy.
and this got, and you'll kind of see, you do a goofy kind of fun video. Your
Not need to put 20%.
your engagement's you're gonna get more likes, but you're not gonna get much out of it as far as you're not getting somebody DMing you questions saying, "Hey, I want to buy a house. How much do I actually need to save?"
Down to
This is a
buy
2-minute
a
video, so I'm
home.
not going to show the whole
Let's
thing.
break down exactly what it costs to buy a $250,000 home in Kansas City. Your main expenses are going to be your down payment, your closing cost, and your home inspection. For your down payment, most first-time buyers use a 3.5% down FHA loan or a conventional 5% down home loan. So on a $250,000 house, you're doing an FHA.
You guys know most of that information. But so I shot that. I did a talking head. I just sat there and talked through the whole 2 minute. Actually, I did in sections. I did my opening. I did a clip because I know if I shoot for 2 minutes straight, I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to sit. Usually I end up cussing and I end up cutting. But because I say something wrong, I'm like, oh, shit. And then I got to cut a bunch of those out. Eventually, I'll have a compilation of just me saying cussing a lot. But so this one took me probably half an hour to shoot. I had ChatGPT write the script. Come to the AI class next week. It'll teach us about that. And I recorded in sections instead of trying to do that 2.5 minutes straight. I did. This is my opening. It's 20 seconds. I just got to nail down this 20-second opening. And then part 1, talking about first-time buyer loans. I just did that section and did then sections and then kind of pieced it together in CapCut, which I'll show you here in a second. But this kind of video is where I got 5 leads from this. I had 5 people DM on Instagram. I had 2 on Facebook, 3 on Instagram. I had 5 people DM me wanting to meet up to start. Hey, that's less than I expected. Or hey, I've already got that much saved. I thought I needed 40 or 50 grand saved up or whatever. Because I just did a quick, ideally, if your first one's going to take you probably an hour and a half to shoot a minute-long video, because you're going to hate how you look. You're going to hate how everything about it. I recommend, and it's a setting in your phone. You can set it up where it's mirrored when you do like a selfie video, or it's not mirrored. Test it out. One of them makes you look a lot better than the other. One of them's more honest. One of them makes you look better. Pick the one that makes you look better. I don't use the honest one. I think that I don't remember which is which, but you'll notice. But that's videos for my sphere. Those are people I already know, people that are already following me, but I want them to engage. I want to provide valuable information. And I had that week, I had 3 buyer consults. I was like, oh, they pretty much all have the same questions. I was like, oh, so now I've started shooting videos, answering all those questions. And that's the easiest way to do it because it's something we already know the answers to. It's not something, you have those conversations all the time. If I just ask you, how much does it cost to buy your first home? You can spitball an answer. Ask yourself that question, make a video, say, hey, I was asked the other day. It doesn't matter if anybody asked you. Nobody cares. Just lie. It's fine. It's video. The other day I was asked about this, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I posted today on my Instagram. I had somebody DM me from that video asking a question. I responded. I took a screenshot of that conversation, covered up their name, put it on my Instagram story. And now I've had 1 person already, only 1. I'm hoping for a dozen, but one will work. In the last 45 minutes, that messaged me because I had a common question asked, and I provided an answer. And that's most of what your videos should be around to get started. What are those common questions? One I'm shooting this afternoon. I ran a Zestimate. I had somebody reach out asking what their home value was. And this is, if you're consistently thinking about opportunities for a video, they're everywhere. It's like, oh, this would be a good video. And I say that all the time. And I only actually record about 1% of those good ideas. But I'm recording this one today. Somebody asked me, they sent me they asked me what the value of their home was. They wanted me to run a CMA for them. So I started with telling them what their Zestimate was, just so I could prove how much better I am than Zillow. Their Zestimate was $199.50 or something, right around there. I ran comps. Their home's probably a $300,000 home. Zillow doesn't know they have a finished basement with a second kitchen and a 4th bedroom and a 3rd bathroom in it. Zillow doesn't know all that. Zillow doesn't know that they expanded their kitchen a year ago, completely remodeled the house, put a new roof on it, put new, Zillow doesn't know all those things. That's a hell of a video. So, hey, I ran, and that's what I'll be shooting this afternoon, so keep an eye out for it. But that's what I just constantly finding those questions that people are asking us all the time and answering them. Because if one person asks you it, there's 15 people on your Facebook or Instagram or whatever, probably Facebook for most people, that have that same question. Now that's starting with downsizing. He's going to start doing videos weekly, downsizing tips, because he knows those are the people he's engaging with. So you kind of figure out who you want to work with. Mine is first-time buyers. Except I don't want to work with them. I want to work with million-dollar sellers. But the first-time buyers is really who I'm working with. So I think of what are the questions the first-time buyers asking, and then I sit and record those. And continuing to do it even more, sit and record that video. But that's just as far as ideas for coming up with what to say and what you should shoot a video about. Is just those common questions are the best place to start. Or like Christy, I don't know if you guys saw, she's starting to do a weekly podcast, which interviewing local business owners. As you get down the road and you want to do a lot of content, podcasts are a great way to do it because you can record with somebody for 10, 15 minutes, and then you can edit a bunch of 15, 20-second, 30-second clips. Maybe you say something real smart in the middle. You can take that, make it a reel, do all that. But that's down the road. That's when you're really trying to get as much content out of as possible. Doing a podcast or something like that's really a good way to do it. But let me talk about the tools I use. So the main two tools, well, the main one I use and the main one my dad uses, I use CapCut. It's a free app. It's owned by TikTok, so it's pretty well all designed around creating TikToks or Reels. And that's what we're going to want most of these videos to be, is Reels on Facebook or Instagram, if you guys are on there too. Most of the quick videos that get good views, all my home tours are Reels, and they typically have a 90-second limit. So, and you don't even have to talk for more than a minute and a half. So, but yeah, 90-second Reels, that's what all my home tours are. Sometimes that's the hardest part, is I walk through a house and I say a bunch of stupid stuff, and I think I'm funny. And then I'm like, well, I want to include that and that, and cutting it down to 90 seconds with the home tours is my issue. But that's a lot of editing, doing a home tour like that, because I get 50 to 75 clips in every house I go into when I sit on to with angles, doing all sorts of stuff. It's a lot of work. I don't recommend it. I should have started much simpler and built up to it. Instead, I started really complicated. And honestly, if my first home tour didn't do really well, I've only had one do better than my first one since then. I would not have kept doing it. Just knowing me, if my first one got 500 views, I would not have kept doing it. Just knowing me, I won it. It was like 23,000 or something. And like I said, I've only had one do. Yeah, I've only had one. The best one was, I was wearing a cowboy hat. It was like a shake shop with an apartment in the back down in Archie. I think it was Archie. I think so. But that one did the best. So then I tried to do other businesses, and they did not do as well. Last week's, I was so proud of it. That was my favorite one I've done. Nobody watched it. It sucked. But also sharing those in groups. That's the other way I get good engagement too, is whatever city I'm shooting the video in, I share it in that group. Except Blue Springs allows no real estate. You can sell anything besides real estate. I don't know what, they must have had too many real estate agents trying to post stuff. They reject anything real estate related. So with that one, I didn't really have a group to share it in. But when I shoot a video on Lee Summit, I share it in a Lee Summit page. When I shoot a video on Harrisonville, I share it in the Harrisonville happenings or whatever. I always share it in those local pages too, wherever I'm at, and that's kind of helps with engagement also. And if your video gets rejected when you try to share it in the Belton group, just call Paul and start complaining, because he's one of the admins in there. So I try to out him on all that just in case somebody got rejected. Want you to know, take your complaints to him, and he loves to hear them. But so if your stuff gets rejected, typically the only real estate stuff he rejects is if it's going to make you look worse than not. If sharing it's not going to be beneficial for you. There's some, I don't remember, I don't know if they're Reese Nichols. There's some agent that tries to post stuff, and they have an insane amount of typos and misspellings and stuff. and he knows there people are just going to dog him in the comments. So he rejects it and lets them know they should maybe improve it a little for their own sake. But especially him, he loves to argue with people in comments. But yeah, so as far as figuring out ideas for videos, I'm trying to get better at it, but constantly thinking, oh, when you're answering a question, people ask us real estate questions all the time. A lot of them have pretty simple answers that we just rattle off when don't even think about it. That's a video. And we can, as you get into some of these resources, you can do some of these goofy reels where you can do a voiceover of just do random beat clips of a house, and you can just talk about whatever you want. If you really don't want your face to be on camera, that's an option too. But yeah, the tools. So, and I've created I'll email it out. It's like a guide for inputting your first video in CapCut and how to edit it and stuff. Me and ChatGPT worked on that together, so I'll email that out. But it's like literally a step-by-step guide editing your first video in CapCut. I haven't used the desktop version, and since I can't do that, I don't really know, but that's what it is. CAPCUT. I pay for it. I don't remember how much it is, but there's a free version too. There's just more things you can do with it. But so this is a great example. Oh, that requires, never mind, it's not a great example. That new project, let me pick, a lot of these are just horrible. Gosh, and I don't know what I'm saying in them, so be prepared. Here's me sitting on a toilet. All right. If I was real good, I would have had a talking head video prep to edit in front of you guys, but I don't.
So do you use this to slice and cut out the information, or do you pause as you're recording, knowing that you're splicing it?
Oh, both. Sometimes I mean, what do you mean? Like as I'm doing a talking head video, I usually cut stuff out in editing. But like I said, when I'm doing those little longer ones, I break it up in sections. I just try to get my intro down because I know if I talk for 2 minutes, I want to say stuff wrong. So I break it down and it trim, and that guide I'll send out kind of shows step by step, and it'll help. It's very helpful. Should have printed it off, but getting CapCut and walking through editing your first video in it. The biggest thing that you can do, one is it can trim out filler words, and there's a filter on there that you can kind of automatically does it, and that's in the guide I'll send out. It's in there too. Cut out filler words. It cut out automatic like spaces or pauses. It can automatically cut some of that stuff out too. Just kind of helps make it clean. And then captions are really important. I think the stats like 85% of people will end up watching reels without sound. If you're sitting on the toilet in public, you're scrolling through, you're watching without sound. So captions are really important. And I don't add any music until I'm in Facebook or until I'm the final stage. A lot of the time you add music. CapCut's got a bunch of music you can use. It may not be licensed for Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So I don't add music until I'm in at the very end, because it's all based off what TikTok has, because it's owned by China. But for now, we'll see. But yeah, so CapCut's one. That's what I use for all my editing, and I'll send that guide out. It's very simple. Once you use it once or twice, I've been editing videos, and I was use Premiere Pro for video editing, starting at like 13 in school and stuff. So I had pretty good experience with that. But then CapCut, it's all complicated. That's for professional video editors. CapCut's for everybody. I mean, it makes it very simple. And there's a few other apps you can look into if you don't want to give your videos to China. I've used it some, but not. I use CapCut because I like it the best. It's got the best ease of editing, and my dad's figured out CapCut, which is big for me because the alternative is he sends me videos, say, "Hey, I need you to do this." I'm like, "That's super easy, dude." He should actually be back here. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, CapCut's pretty simple. It's video editing is never. It's not. It's the simplest. You're still going to get frustrated. Still going to stress you out. You're still going to be 6 months down the road, and you use it every day, once a week for 6 months. I discovered a new feature 3 days ago that would have saved me so much time. in the last year. It's in the guide I'll email. But so, oh, that's would have been really cool if I found out about that a year ago. And I think a lot of that, it's got some AI features too, some of the AI editing features. I think you do have to have the paid one for that. But there's so much you can do with the free version. It's a great place to start. And then the other app that I've hardly used, but my dad loves, it's called Teleprompter. And it's a teleprompter. So this would be if you have, especially if you work with ChatGPT or you just typed out what you want to say, a script, then you can, let me see here. And this one my dad uses for most of his talking head videos. He uses teleprompter. I don't like it because I don't like reading while I'm doing it because I'm a slow reader. I talk much faster than I read, so sometimes I get ahead of myself. So I just narrow it down. That's why I break it down in sections because I know I can nail down this 20 seconds. I can nail down this 20 seconds. But let's do demo. So welcome to teleprompter. Start. So what it'll do, or what it can do, it provides it, goes across it, you read it, and it records while you read it. So you can read directly off a script. And I think in the pro version, it has an AI feature that can automatically adjust your eyes so it doesn't look like you're reading from a script. But it's called teleprompter. It's good if you already know exactly what you're going to say or you have it typed out. Like my dad will type into ChatGPT what he wants to talk about, and he'll have it help him write a 45-second script. Again, next week, AI class. He'll teach you about all that. You can copy and paste in teleprompter. So you don't have to come up with what to say. You just say, hey, I want to make a 30-second video. Go to ChatGPT. So you want to make a 30-second video about the difference between an FHA and a conventional loan. And it'll give you a 30-second script. You can copy that, paste it into teleprompter, hit record, and you can read it off the screen while it's recording. And then you take that to CapCut, add captions, post it on Facebook, get lots of deals. But I was talking about you and teleprompter, but I don't. But
So you copy and paste teleprompter.
yeah, and then
and
it
then
reads the
import
script.
that.
Yeah, or you can just download it from there. Yeah, but yeah, then you can download it and do whatever else you want with it. But it records it in there. Dad, you want to touch on teleprompter? I haven't really used it much. It's called teleprompter. Yep. It's just. Let me see.
Just teleprompter.
Yeah.
Are you at your app store?
Yes.
I say, no.
No.
I don't know. Let me see what that looks like. But
Teleprompter is pretty cool. I think I pay something like an annual amount for it. It's not much. And
yeah, I have the free version. But what does it look like? It's blue and white and got a play button on the left. I don't know if it's available on Android, but there's some similar. You might have to experiment and figure one out.
yeah,
But
when you
there's
see apps that are generic, like that kind of
yeah,
kind of
but
caption.
but
But
yeah. So with teleprompter, it literally, I mean, pops across the screen. You just read it and it records.
the pace, size, I like to have like a long report, so I make a big process.
Yeah. So that's what he uses. I don't like reading, so I like breaking it up down to 20-second little things. But that's a great resource to get you started too, is because it tells you what to say. It's on the screen. You just read it, and you don't have to worry about memorizing stuff. You don't have to worry about all that. The biggest thing is want consistency with video on all of the apps. The more you do, the more it promotes. It starts to expect it from you. And you kind of set that expectation with people too. And that's the reason I picked a date. I'm doing home tour Tuesday because I knew if I didn't have a deadline, I ain't gonna do it. I frequently still shoot and edit on Tuesday and post it out like 8 o'clock Tuesday night. It's late. It's like Tuesday. I think my latest was like 10:15. And then usually after that, I'm like home tour Wednesday, and carry it over. But that consistency just over They all say 6 months before you start seeing any results. But most of mine hasn't been strangers reaching out. Hey, I saw your video. I want to buy a house. It's people one away, my friend of a friend that would maybe reach out to me, but also knows a dozen other realtors. But they're seeing my video every single week. And I'm the one they're thinking of when, oh, I think real estate, that's just that fun home tour guy. My only issue, only had one negative from it. Remember watching? Guy's a dick anyway. Okay? But, so, my dad, my only drawback I've had for my goofy home tours so far is he was meeting with a client, and I know the grandma, she loves me. We're tight. She loves my home tours. Her daughter loves me, loves my home tours. Her husband doesn't love anything. He is opposed. Working with my dad, wanted to make sure I'm not going to be. He's like, we're not wanting to make sure they're not doing anything with Josh. I don't know the guy. All I know is his wife thinks he's a dick. So does his mother-in-law. Everybody else that's unrelated to this. All I've ever heard about this guy's negative stuff. And then recent, as the last whatever week or two when that conversation started, said something about not wanting to work with me. Wanted to make sure that, if he's working with Paul, that I'm not a part of it. And Paul likes money. So he's like, yeah, I don't like that kid either. But whatever. And we know that in real estate anyway. I mean, we want to work with people that want to work with us. But that's why every time I do a buyer consult, I let them know, hey, their 6-month agreement. At some point, you want to say, Josh sucks. I want to go away. I want to tear this up. I don't want to work with you. If you don't want to work with me, well, virtually tear it up. That's fine. Hasn't happened yet, but I always let them know that's an option because we don't want to work with people because that's a lot of one-on-one conversation. I mean, we know how bad it is working with agents we don't like. I'm doing that right now. Somebody down there across the way. And that's awful. So that's been my only drawback has been that one guy, which sounds like a win for me anyway. So that's been it. But the thing I'm focusing on this year, and that's why I did that little longer video about that stuff, is really making sure I think I'm getting the know and like down, but people got to know, like, and trust you. My home tours do not show any sort of expertise in real estate. They're fun. They're goofy. They get good views and good attention, but they show little to no expertise. You don't learn a whole lot about me and my business, who I am, my capabilities through that. So especially on Instagram, which is really where my first-time buyers are at. If your audience is your ideal clients are 50 plus, Facebook is where 90% of that's going to be. If your audience is 20 to 40, if that's who you're trying to reach, Instagram's going to be where you want to be at. And TikTok's growing for everybody. I don't use TikTok with intent. I occasionally toss a home tour on there or whatever. I don't really use TikTok as a strategy because my business coach doesn't tell me to. So I don't know. Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. And my home tours it stinks. They do so much better on Facebook. I'll get like 40 or 50 likes on Facebook and I'll get 5 on Instagram. Still, after a year of doing them. But then I did that educational 2.5-minute boring video, tons of views on Instagram. And responses and comments. And because my peers are the ones on Instagram. Ones on Facebook is just 50 and up crowd. And they like this handsome young guy goofing around in a house versus people on Instagram like, oh, that was like, he's teaching me about first time buying my first home. So that's why I'm kind of doubling down on the educational stuff to just kind of show both sides. Obviously, I'm gonna be fun and goofy. And I was talking to a guy in our referral group, and he's a business coach who we met like 2 weeks ago, just started coming to the group. His wife, I guess, has seen my videos. And she's like, is he really like that? And he was like, yeah. And I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but so obviously showcasing some personality on there too. And that's what we want to do in all of our stuff because we want to work with the people that want to work with us. So showing who you are in video does that. And I don't cold call. I've never had. sure we should. I hardly call people I know. I mean, was one of the biggest things. I went to Bold, like went to it like a month before I got my real estate license. And it's, call. And I went to look. I have a group chat with 9 of my buddies. The first one I met when I was 2 weeks old. The last one I met when I was in 5th grade. Same friends forever. I had one of their phone numbers. We got a Snapchat group chat. I've only ever talked in the Snapchat group chat. These are my best friends for life. I didn't have their phone numbers. So that call, it's like, I struggled with that. Whereas this, I'm doing video, doing stuff. I'm engaging with them. Obviously, I have their phone numbers now. But one of them just bought a house last week, so good job. But
God.
we didn't add it. I met him. I didn't add in the group chat then, but I met him. But I'm saying these.
When you were 2 weeks old, you both had it.
Yeah, we were texting. Yeah, it was crazy. But no, that's when they were started. I was 2001, but yep. I was there. Dang, I was up there.
Well, Josh, you mentioned, that, you don't know if it's a positive or a negative, but they said, are you really like that?
Yeah,
So in trainings that I've been part of, you have to be authentic.
yeah,
So if you tried to be super serious all the time on your videos, it would come across as that is not you.
yeah,
Okay, and I don't mean this against your dad, but if he tried to be you.
Oh, it'd be horrible.
it would not
It'd be
come
hilarious.
across
yeah,
as authentic.
yeah,
So whatever your thing is, you just gotta be your thing.
yeah,
Your credibility is not gonna have the same, I mean, you can talk first time home buyers.
Yeah.
Whereas Tom and I can't.
yeah.
But that's not who, I'm gonna say we're going after.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but you have to be relatable.
Yeah.
And so for you to talk to a senior and
Yeah.
not be yourself.
Yeah,
that's just not gonna
Yeah.
come across right.
Yeah, that's the big. I mean,
just
that's
have to be yourself.
authenticity throughout it all. Yeah, and I don't know, and obviously it adds value. What I've didn't really consider, but I'm getting is for the seller. In my head, I'm like, I'm working in buyers, but like when we went in that consult, oh, I can get 5,000 people to look at a tour of your home on Tuesday. That adds value for a seller. Again, I don't mention that I've never helped somebody buy a house I did a video of. I don't mention that. But and that's not something initially when I started. I was like, oh, I want to
Yeah.
showcase these to buyers. But
Yeah.
but and I could have back in September. There's a chance it wouldn't have panned out. But if it did, probably $250,000 house. I'm buying a $500,000 house. I'm like 750, 3%. And I just started crying right there on the toilet.
But you
But-
won't get that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, no, I won't. I'm checking through all my spam messages, which I don't recommend because it's a dark place in there. There's a reason they go to spam. They're just group chats, and you may see that if you actually go and look. You'll get added to random group chats by someone in Bangladesh. Like it's crazy. I don't know why. I don't know why I went to spam. I've been thinking about it for 3 days. I've really been struggling with that. I'm really sad, but that opportunity, it works because I know. Well, it's nice because I know that opportunity was there. I know somebody saw it. They wanted to check out that house. I said, hey, I'd like to check out that house. And I've had people want to learn more about them. And I've got buyer leads from it, but it's never panned out on that house, which I don't care. I don't care what house they buy, but if they buy with me, I'm happy. So I haven't, but obviously, like I said, don't mention that to sellers when I say, hey, I can get 5,000 people to look at your house. And that adds value that just I've been able to build organically because I started doing it. I think it's right about a year. I think it was last March. I did my first home tour. And as of 3 weeks ago, I started doing an additional video a week. Took a year. My coach has been talking about it for 2 years. Said, hey, that's doing really well. You should also do it. I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. Down the road. But it took a year from telling me to do video before I did my first home tour. And now I've done a year of home tours, and now I'm trying to do 2 a week. A goofy home tour, an educational piece. And maybe you saw that Christy's doing, and she's going to use it. And I think the Finns do this now. They send videos in their newsletters. And that's an easy one too. You take quick video with your lawn guy. Say, hey, I'm here with Jim, the lawn guy. He's going to give you quick spring tips. spring lawn tips, as we get into spring. Have him talk for 30 seconds, some spring lawn tips, or lawn, spring, whatever. So have him give some spring tips for taking care of your lawn. Takes 20, 30 seconds of him talking. Yep. I won't even throw captions on it. I just put that in your email and newsletter and send it out to everybody. That's a real easy way. And then you get somebody else to do all the content. You're just introduce them, have them do some talk for 30 seconds and send them out in their newsletter. That's where people are getting a lot of value with video too. And that's really for me, it's been the best way to engage with my sphere because I know I'm not going to sit and make 20 phone calls a day. I know that because I think I've been licensed for 5 years now. Maybe one day have I made 20 phone calls. Maybe one. So I know, obviously, I'm not going to do that. So this gets that conversation. They feel as though they're having a conversation with me every single week. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But yeah, CapCut and teleprompter. I'll send a thing out about CapCut. It's a step-by-step guide on how to put your first video in, edit it, and trim it down or whatever. A talking head video is going to be so talking head, it's sitting there, you talking to the camera. And figure out, it's good for client testimonies. Say, hey, I had a client, maybe you just read one of your reviews and you say, hey, it's got a review from them. This is what they said, and I really appreciate that. Or those quick stories too. Hey, 3 months ago, I met with Alex and he told me he wanted to buy his first home. This is what we did. Quick 60-second video, kind of talk about the process. Somebody's going to relate to that story. Somebody's going to get something out of a goofy home tour. I'm going to talk about the difference between an FHA versus conventional loan. Somebody's going to say, I didn't know you only need 3.5% down. I have that right now. Sweet. But it's just, and for ideas, if you're really struggling, like I said, think of a question somebody's asked you in the last 2 weeks about real estate and answer that question on a video. Or ChatGPT. I'll demonstrate this one thing and then I'll go to lots of questions because I'm sure I started and didn't finish a lot of points here because I didn't make a slideshow. But give me 10 video ideas I can shoot for Instagram Reels about with first time home buyer tips. So that's what I typed in. ChatGPT, give me 10 video ideas I can shoot for Instagram Reels with first time home buyer tips. The more specific you are, the better of a response you get. Slow one here, 10 Instagram Reels, slowly. 3 things to do before you start house hunting. Common first time home buyer mistakes. How much money do you actually need to buy a home? And it's going to pull up a bunch of questions, and then slowly, maybe, and again.
Then you can say, give me more information about.
Yeah. Then you say, give me a 60-second script for the first idea. First idea that I can copy and paste into teleprompter to shoot a video. Script, 3 things to do before you start housing. Opening hook. And then you copy and paste that into teleprompter and you read it. And then you go to CapCut and you add captions. And then you go to Instagram or Facebook and you post it and you make lots of money. Oh, you won't make lots of money. You'll get 10 people to watch the first one and it's going to suck. And then you're not going to want to do another one. And then you're going to do another one anyway. And that's the 6 months. That's what, especially on YouTube and some of the other stuff. But you're going to start seeing that more immediate. That's more for growing your sphere as the 6 months. But as far as the engagement from your sphere, they're going to be happy to see your face. You haven't done a video. And I know, and my dad, he thought I should talk about different ways to shoot videos with avoiding putting your face on camera. Don't do that. I mean, if you really, really can't, try, but people want to see you. People know you, people like you, people recognize you. So as far as having actual success with it, and it turning into something, you can get good views on a video without your face on it, where you just give a quick tip while you're doing a video of a house. Your actual engagement with people reaching out, turning those into leads is going to be a lot lower on those.
They used to say that videos on Facebook live perform better than recorded and posted. Have you seen any difference between them?
My dad's live videos nobody watches. That's my only evidence. I don't do any live stuff. I may start. That's one of my things I'm thinking about doing this year is going live, like weekly at the same time every week. Maybe Thursday it's 5:30 or whatever for half an hour to answer real estate questions for people or something. I'm thinking about doing it and I'll kind of promote it. Hey, every week if you got questions, tune into my Instagram live. But as far as typically the quality's lower because it's trying to upload as you're doing it. So it's typically lower quality. And it just, for my dad, it gets less engagement. I don't know I've never really looked into it
They
because
used to say that they live get more response than recorded and posted, but I don't even know if that had changed.
I don't know. They've all kind of shifted because of the way reels have taken off. They've all kind of shifted to a similar TikTok algorithm plan.
Then the live
Right.
videos just end up becoming.
Yeah. Yeah, they post, but then they're typically lower quality. That's the big thing when he's shooting because it's uploading as it's going. So I don't like it. And
And you can't
but
do it.
yeah, which is good because you just do it.
Just do it from the back.
It's not a bad doing that. It's a good way to start because once you start, you go. You don't have time to think about it so it's a good way to start. He usually does it of home tours. Home tours are tough because it lags a lot. But for like a talking head video, I'm sure live would be a good way to do it. Yeah. But I don't because I don't want to screw it up and say something. But also that's a good opportunity to just do it because you hit live and then you have to.
Well, key to doing live
But-
videos is you just have to say, I'm going to do one every single day for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Don't go back and watch them. Don't go back and criticize yourself. It's really hard at first, but at the end of 2 weeks, you're like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah. Don't
Don't go back and
don't watch 'em.
rewatch them.
don't do it.
Yeah.
I do, but that's because I'm full of myself. So I'm kidding. But who better to be
Well,
full
but
of? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're horrible at first, and if you just
Yeah.
do them, just get through it by the end of the second week. you'll be
Yeah. And I have no clue, absolutely none, how to predict if it's going to do well. Because last week's, I loved me and my suit and the lawyers. I thought it was great. I was so proud of it. And I put it out there. And I'm being whiny about it. It's still a couple thousand views, which is wonderful. I recognize that. But I was like, I think this is going to be like a high point. It wasn't. I was so sad. And then other ones that I'm like, I just feel like I threw it together last second. I don't even like. I'm like, I don't know about this, but it's what I got. So post. And then it does it. I hate it so much. All the videos I hate do well. All the videos I like, nobody watches. So I don't know how to predict it. I think it kind of depends. And there's so much down the road as you get into it, time of day that you post and what. I mean, there's rabbit holes you can go down that are deep on all that side of it, but just consistently shooting a video and posting it is the hardest part. And now I get to start looking at that stuff. I'm looking at, okay, what time of day is best for me to post my home tour? Yeah. Yeah.
So you can just post it and say,
Yep.
go active, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you can schedule. In Facebook, you have to schedule within the app. On other things, there's like there's an app called Loomly, which I think costs money, but you can it's a post scheduler, and it can do Google Business too. So it's kind of cool for that. But it can't do. Facebook doesn't allow any third party scheduling. But in Facebook, basically, you go to post it. There's an option to like select or post it, and you select the time. So yeah, you can schedule them. Loomly is a cool resource especially if you're really consistently doing it. It's Loomly. It's an app, but yeah, you can schedule for Instagram and Google and the other TikTok, all the other stuff. But 2 months.
You could do like 2 months worth of videos.
You could, and that's what I should do. Yeah. I should shoot my home tours before Tuesday also. But yeah, so yeah, and you can do it on there. You just can't post on Facebook, which that's why we stopped using it because that's why my dad or why we didn't use it. Yes, ma'am. But AI next week, Monday.
Facebook, though, you can do the same thing.
Yeah, you can do it in the
Facebook,
app.
you
Yeah.
can still schedule. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically, I think you basically go to post it, and then there, when you Google how to schedule, and it tells you. But that's what because I was looking at like a week ago. I was like, there's got to be a way, and I found it, but I don't remember. But yeah, it's like basically when you go to post it, you set it, you make it, you get to the end, and instead of publish, there's like a schedule option.
You share it. YouTube too.
I should, if I listen to my real estate coach. Yeah, so we my dad used to 2 years ago.
Your videos, even the small
I
videos.
haven't. No, I should. Yeah, if I listen to my business, and that's what we're going to be doing now. But that's one of our 2025 things, hasn't started yet. But is that YouTube? What we see with real estate agents having most success on YouTube are those relocation YouTube channels. But that's a big commitment. That's why we haven't done it. But it works. This guy named Levi Lasik. He's in Dallas. I think he's got a YouTube channel called Living in Dallas. He was a financial planner going into COVID. His biggest contract was with the Dallas School District. And then during COVID, they were all like, a lot of teachers retired, and the ones that didn't were like, hey, I want to manage my own money right now. Everybody was scared. So he basically went out of business in like 3 months, got his real estate license, learned a lot about YouTube, and has created in the last 5 years. He's making $1 million a year, $1 million a year real estate business from his YouTube channel. I don't think he doesn't work with, I think he's just a YouTuber now. And he has a real estate team that handles all the leads. And it's all living in, and you can look, he's entertaining, but it's, especially during COVID, a lot of people moved to Dallas. When they look up Dallas, whatever, living in Dallas, that's the name of a YouTube channel. Smart move, living in Dallas, Texas. And then I think he's got moving to Dallas, Texas. And it's all like, and then it's, top 5 suburbs, all those kinds of videos. And that's what Kyle Talbot is doing for Kansas City. And it's what our business coach told us 2 years ago we need to start doing, and we didn't. And we would have made a lot of money by now if we did. But that's all a lot of work. That's your editing 10, 15 minutes. It's just a lot of editing that I'm unwilling to do at this point. But
Can you talk about the differences between the free version of CapCut and the paid version?
I don't know because I've only used the paid version last year. Let me see. It's got a little thing, but
Paid Canva, free Canva, and paid Canva. Some of those features are pretty important, like being
Yeah.
able to add pictures and stuff like that.
yeah, let me see here. So you can do trimming and captions. That's what you can do all that for the free version. You can trim it down. You can add captions. Like I said, I want to add music in any of the apps until you get, because they're not licensed. They're all licensed for TikTok because it's owned by TikTok. But as far as Facebook and Instagram, they're not. The songs aren't always.
How important is the
But
music?
I do them with some home tours. I don't with others. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not real important. Sometimes if you use like a trending song, it can help boost it a little. But I use the same song on every single one of my home tours just because I like the sound. But there's like options for percentage. I do 100% volume on my voice, 3% volume or something on the music. It's not important. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think it makes a big difference in performance. Just for some of my home tours specifically, my talking head video, that 2.5 minute one, there's no music. If I'm like teaching and it's not goofy or whatever, I don't use any music because I want them to focus on what I'm saying. But my home tours I do because sometimes I just do goofy stuff where I'm not talking and I like having a little noise in the background. But yeah, it's not important. But especially don't add it in TikTok because sometimes you'll do that and then you upload to Facebook and it'll upload without any of the sound because it was copyright or whatever.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it just cuts everything out. Because on there, since I edited it elsewhere, it's just one sound. But in Facebook, Instagram, all of them, you can add music if you want. For the home tours I do for what I think is the boring stuff, but that's the stuff that's most. I got more leads from that video than I've got from home tours than my last 10 home tours. But the people are watching my videos because I've been doing goofy home tours for a year. So it's important, but I'm trying to build trust too. And uh-oh. Hmm?
You like taking your hat off and being like, oh, the business cap.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
doing,
that'd be
the
good.
learning-
That'd be good.
I wish
Yeah. Yeah.
they see the same
Mm.
Then here's the
Good
worst
move.
case.
But that's where my dad hates it. And so does my girlfriend's dad. He doesn't hate it. But he's like, why don't you wear a real estate hat if you're going to wear a hat? I just really like this hat.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to find the manufacturer. But, and I was like, but I did buy 2 this week. They're going to be in Thursday. I'm very picky on hats. And I love this one. So I got it in July. I haven't worn another hat since then. It's kind of gross. I wash it about once a month. But so I ordered a few different models from Richardson, one that looks similar, one in just blank models. I bought them on Amazon, like $12 a piece or whatever. I bought, I think, 3 different ones that are going to come in this week. I'll pick which one, find one I like, and then I'm going to get four different colors, get them all embroidered, Fyffe Real Estate. But I'm like, I don't know, I'm picky. I like the Richardson 112. That's the best, second best hat ever made. And I like this one, but I can't find the manufacturer because it's Field and Stream, but they didn't make that hat. They bought it from somewhere in China or whatever. And so I've gone down a rabbit hole trying to find the manufacturer of this hat, and I can't because I want to get it blank and get it by Real Estate. I don't Field and Stream. I don't care. But wait, so that's a good idea. I should. And I'm kind of getting a couple new hats anyway.
Well, or even
But
though have.
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
That education.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good move. Yeah. Also, the more you start doing videos, the more people give you ideas, and I use most of them. That measuring by my body in some of the videos, not my idea. Somebody's like, "Hey, you should do that," because I was talking about how many goats wide something was. They're like, "You should just lay on the floor and do it." I was like, "Oh, okay," and then I did it. People were like, "That was funny." It's like, good idea. It was my girlfriend's dad that he gives me a lot of ideas, and
Half his viewers are agents.
that's well, I started rejecting friend requests from other real estate agents. Like there's too many. But it's I don't know. I've been surprised. People watch all of them that I flabbergasted. I've never paid attention. They may not like it or they may not because I mean if it gets 3,000 views, it'll get 40 likes. But people also with reels, people don't like reels the way they do post. Just like that, I don't like any reels. I just don't. When I'm scrolling, I mean, it's mind numbing almost, but I don't like any. I appreciate a lot of them. But I don't hit the like button. So as far as likes and comments on reels are going to be are less of a tell than on like just a post.
Well, and like the likes and things like that, if somebody likes a reel, then it drops into their DM, but they don't really know which one you actually looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see that connection. You can say, I loved your video, and you'll get that message, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know which one they love.
Yeah. So and the biggest thing that I've started doing recently that I had not done in any of my stuff is a call to action that's very clear. It's very simple. And I'm started using the same thing for everything. Text home to 816-572-8049 to learn more. Like 3 people text home, and then I had to say, what property were you talking about? Or whatever. Because I don't know. But I'm sure down the road I'll figure out a better way. But I text home, and I didn't really start using a good call to action until like 2 months ago. And I've started getting some people because you got to get very clear instructions what you want them to do. Comment this if you want to learn more about this home. Comment a heart emoji if you want whatever. Just very specific call to action has been helping with my engagement because I tell them what to do. You got to make it very clear, and then they do it. So, but yeah, I'll get the CapCut thing. They've got all the emails in the world up there, so I'll get those and I'll send it out. Just a step-by-step guide for the first video in CapCut. ChatGPT did most of the work, but I went through. I was like, oh yeah, that is how you do it. So they know what they're doing.
Is it check? Now it's up to
Yeah. And same with chat. Same with all of them. There's as you've probably discovered on any app that exists, there's a free version. There's a paid version that has more cooler stuff. But if you figure out the free version first, then you realize what value you can get from. Oh, that'd be cool if I do this, it makes this simpler because they have some of the AI editing. All the AI editing in CapCut, I think, is on the paid version. But like there's like an AI packaging. It's like one button you hit, and I'm still, and it automatically adds captions. You can automatically do captions without it, but it automatically add captions, and it can also automatically add graphics and stuff based off what I've said. It doesn't do a great job, but it came out like a month ago, so I imagine as we go, it'll get even better.
that's with CapCut.
Yeah, and then you can do transcript based editing, which is really cool. I don't know if that's paid or not, but basically it has everything you say, and you can delete. It automatically identifies filler words, and it'll say you have 12 filler words. You can hit one button, it deletes all of them, and it deletes it. It takes that whatever eighth of a second out of the video too. It automatically edits the video. I think it's transcript-based editing, and a lot of most editing apps now have something similar. It's awesome, and yeah, it automatically does the pauses too, and it identifies all of them. You review them, and then you're like, yeah, and it's one button, and it deletes all of it. Yeah, it's cool, but it'll cut it all out.
Awesome. Then you don't
Yeah.
have to do-
Yeah. Yeah, and that's helpful. My home tours, I don't really have that issue because I'm saying some of them most of them are 3 to 4 second clips. But yeah, the talking head video, especially pauses or whatever, and then when you're shooting it, it's okay. That I said, it's okay that I took a pause because that transcript based editing. Let me see. I'll show what it looks like. Oh, here. So it's loading. It's figuring out what I'm saying. This is a home tour, so I've already cut out all the filler words and stuff too. I said, I'm sure it'll find some. Sometimes it's slow, especially in the office. Maybe, but in the home tours, I usually end up cutting them out anyway. So yeah, so it goes here. So it's got a 1.2 second pause here. It says delete 2 words. It says look, which I don't know why I said look. There's no filler words on this one anyway. But normally, so it says it identifies that. I don't know why it thinks look is a filler word, but then there's a 1.2 second pause. I need the pause because I'm doing something goofy. But so yeah, that's what it does. There's only 2 in this one, but so it identifies. Like I said, I don't really have any fillers in this one, but it automatically identifies them. So normally I have 30, and I just go ahead and delete them.
2-second pause if you want to.
Yeah, and you can tap on it. Yeah, and I can get rid of. This is just the transcript based editing. It just automatically identifies. I don't really have much in this one, but it'll say you have 5 filler words here, there, and then you review it, of course, because you don't want to cut out something you need. And then and there's pause at the end. So that's what's trying to cut out is 2 pauses because I already got rid of all those and because I already edited it. But it'll identify all those. You can hit delete, get rid of them all, and it automatically takes out the word in your video, and it kind of makes it a smooth transition to it too. It's so much better than it used to be. And even when I started, before I discovered transcript-based editing, that's one that about 4 months ago I started using. I would go through and I try to trim out 1/3 of a second where I said in the middle and that's a pain in the butt. And I've been editing videos for 10 years and that sucks. So this is awesome, the transcript-based editing thing, which I think most of the apps have, but CapCut's the only one I've used besides Adobe Premiere, but Premiere is pretty advanced. And for 90-second video, it's just not worth it. But yeah, do you have any other questions? I know I threw a lot of info at you. I was kind of wanted to.
How about a second class where we all do our
Shoot one?
videos? No, we all shoot something.
And then bring it
and
to
then
edit.
Help us walk through.
Oh, I'm in.
doing that.
We can do it in 2 weeks if you want. Got to talk to the tech committee. Yeah. There we go. That'd be creepy. I'll send out a script. Everybody just use it. But yeah, but like I said, I liked it just doing small cuts and piecing it together. My dad likes using that and reading it all off. Just kind of figure out what works for you.
That caption.
Yeah. Then we'll talk a little more about that next week. It's an AI based video editing app. Did he post the one of Lonnie?
I have
You should show it. So there's Captions is the name of an app. My dad will talk more about it next week, doing an AI class next Monday. Captions is all AI video editing. It's got a lot of these features too. I haven't used it much,
if he hasn't
so I don't teach about it, but it's
AI isn't just for sci-fi movies and teenagers with too much time on their hands. It can actually help us real estate agents too. Josh and Paul have been playing around with this AI stuff. Guess what? It can write listing descriptions, help with video scripts, and even make you sound smarter in emails. Not that you need that, of course. So if you're like me and think chatbot sounds like a bad dancer, come hang out. No tech skills required. Just bring yourself, your questions, and maybe a notebook if you still do things the old-fashioned way. Details below. Hope to see you there.
You didn't say any of that.
yeah. So Captions, he basically create an avatar. So basically you create an avatar. You do certain scan of your face. It has you say certain words, and then it creates an avatar. So,
Type your
yeah.
script in, and that's what he did.
so my dad had Lonnie basically make an avatar on his captions app. My dad had ChatGPT write that script, copied that script, pasted it in there. We can make Lonnie say whatever we want. We're not going to abuse that, but and I still, it's coming around. But even so, I forgot. He posted this, but
Show me your video.
oh here.
This Monday, hey everyone, quick heads up. This Monday at 10 a.m., Josh is hosting a short but super useful training on how to make great real estate videos using just your phone. He's going to cover the basics, affordable equipment, simple editing tricks, and how to make your videos look and sound professional without spending a fortune. If you've been thinking about creating video content but don't know where to start, this is for you. Join us Monday at 10 and let's get you making videos that actually work for your business. See you then.
That's one of the AI avatars.
Idea.
So he just typed the script, put it in there. None of us we never got on camera. That's one of the like captions the app has their own avatar, so you can pick a random person. Yeah, 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 and that's an option too. And that's my dad's done some of them. It's coming around. I can tell, but I know for a fact my grandma would not be able to. And that's where, well, yeah.
But yeah, they're editing it a lot because it's a review.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Joe Rogan endorse something? 90% chance he did not endorse it. That happens all the time. Is like they do reels. It's basically make a commercial having him do that. It's deep fake, but now it's an app you can download and pay $5 a month for. But so that one's creepy. He'll talk about that one next week. But it can also do like the Lonnie. That's nice because if you're doing like something quick, you just want to make a quick 30-second video. You don't want to your hair's not done, you're whatever, you want to make something and send it. That's a quick way to do it because your avatar's in there. Because yeah, Lonnie didn't say any of that. So kind of the personal avatar is cool. The other avatars still creep me out. And the whole idea scares me.
Concept is
But
good.
I'm surprised Lonnie let my dad have that. But yeah, Lonnie's about to promote the Fyffe real estate team. I don't know if he knows that. Kidding. But yeah. Yeah. And that's where I don't want to be on camera for my poop scooping because I want my face to be tied to real estate. And I even had
Same with me.
yeah, I had a poop scooping real estate client that was like, are you doing those videos? I didn't start it. I don't know how to stop it. But I'm sure it's easy. But
Good, thanks, Josh.
thanks. I know it's kind of all over the place. I'll narrow it down for the next time.
Now with Terry and I will work on one.
Now you can stop.
Make sure-